As a young animator, I used to struggle a lot at finishing my shots. I used to always not be able to go over the hump. And just as I was feeling it and my shot was actually getting better and better, by the end of it, I would feel very much like this is not as good as I imagined. So I move on to the next shot, and I move on to the next shot, and I move on to the next shot, and I never quite finished anything. And this is a problem, especially as you want to become like a professional animator. And recently I was reminded by a really good student of mine that actually was going through this feeling. And I'm going to share with you the same advice that I gave him, because at some point your views change, and with more experience comes more knowledge, and the knowledge hopefully I can actually share with you so you don't have to go through it, or at least if you're going through it, you feel less frustrated than I used to feel, because it's very frustrating. So let's talk about going over the hump and the importance of finishing every single shot, even if you're not truly feeling it. Let's do it. All right, welcome everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Apologies for the slight disconnect the last few weeks. Things have been incredibly busy on my end. I'll make a video about that soon. But it's all good stuff, nothing bad. It's just really stressful. I'm piling on more things that I normally do. Anyways, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Harvey Newman, and I'm a games developer, and I like to share my passion for animation and also some of the things that I've learned over my long career in games, right? So let me just start by saying this about animation. Animation is an incredibly frustrating career, and yet is incredibly fulfilling and amazing. And the reason why is because as you learn how to animate and you are a few years deep in animation, things become a little easier. And the easier they become, the more enjoyable they become. However, you never truly learn ever animation fully. Animation is a lifetime process. So here's the crux of the problem. When you start animation right at the beginning, and this is why I was speaking with my student about this, he was about a year or two deep into animation, his animation journey. And one of the things I was frustrated with is that every time he starts a shot, he starts incredibly pumped about the shot and he likes the idea. However, as the shot progresses and he actually gets to the end, he realizes that the shot is not really what he had intended in his mind and is of much less quality that he wanted. And it's actually quite interesting to go through that process, because looking back, it's something that you have to go through as an animator. So as you animate more and more and do more and more shots, as you go through the process of animating any one shot, you learn a bunch of different things, which means that by the time that you finish your shot, especially early on, your level of knowledge is higher than when you started, which means that by the time you finish your shot, you feel like you could have done it much better if you just were to start again. And this is what I used to do. I used to just start the shot again and then start again with the same idea, which means that you get incredibly frustrated because it's not something new anymore. It's not exciting to you anymore. You're just trying to replicate what you've just done with new knowledge. And you keep going through these motions. And sometimes you're looking at a shot for months, weeks on end, and you're sick of seeing it. And it's your own work and you're passionate about it. And now you're not. So what happened? So going through this process is absolutely necessary. Just know this. And second, going through this process teaches you not only resiliency, but also how to be a professional later on. I guarantee you, as you are becoming a professional animator, you're going to have supervisors, directors, and leads that will ask you for an infinite amount of changes to your shots. And within the first one or two iterations, you might be fed up, because for you, in your eyes, your shot is perfect and it works. And for them in their eyes, this has a lot of work to actually still be done, and you're not even close to finishing it. And this disparity becomes frustrating for many reasons. Sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes you feel like your shot is not finished and they think your shot is finished, and you become frustrated because if you only had more time to work on your shot, the shot would be much better. But like everything in the world, nothing is black and white. So you have to actually live in this gray zone where you need to know that your shot might be good enough for now and you need to move on to the next shot with the knowledge of what you've learned in the previous shot. And this is the biggest thing that I actually took away from my years of experience and working with different people, that I had so much free time working on my show reel, putting it together, and even though it was stressful because I had to do 2 or 3 jobs in order to get this thing going, the one thing that I had for sure was time. And within that time, instead of actually just working on a shot, finishing it, and moving on to the next one, which is what makes sense logically, when you are deep in your animations, and you are looking at your reference and you're looking at your poses and you look at your end result, you have a tendency to want to rework things to no end. And you're losing time as you're reworking things, because really the name of the game should be very much that you stick to that one shot as if somebody, professional, lead or whatever, asked you to do that shot. You do it to the best of your abilities right now, with the knowledge that by the time you finish your shot, you are going to be a much better animator than when you finish. And if you know this, you know that by the time you finish, if you feel frustrated with the shot or if you feel like you could have done it better, it's probably because you're in a much better place. So instead of looking at it as a negative, like I used to, try and look at it as positive. Try and look at it as in like, I'm frustrated right now, but it's only because I'm a better animator than I used to be. So let me finish the shot, wrap it up to the best of my abilities right now, and use this knowledge to the next shot, right, that I want to do, and then improve that shot and make it the possibly best shot that I can possibly do. So the more you go through these motions of actually kind of like starting a shot, finishing it, and making sure that you're finishing it, then means that you just kind of like moved one step forward. The biggest mistake that you can do is to continuously circle back and either work on the same shot for a long time because you're trying to make it perfect. Perfection doesn't exist and is a massive detriment to progress, right? So you need to basically know that this is the best you can do. It might not be something for your show reel, it might not be something that you want to show people, but it's something good for now for you as an animator. It served as a tool for you to learn, and perhaps even though you thought it was going to be a show reel piece and it was going to be amazing, maybe this is not it. Maybe it's the next one, right? And the more you actually kind of go through these motions, the more you realize that soon enough you'll have 2 or 3 pieces that are good enough for your show reel, even though you made 10 or 15, right? But at least you have 2 or 3 that you're proud of, that you think they are up to your quality and they are really good to show to other people. And this is the progress and the journey of the animator as you go through this industry. Now, another great thing to keep in mind is what I mentioned in the beginning. Animation is a lifetime career that you will never learn all the things, especially with tech now involved. Perhaps before, as a 2D animator, if you spend about 70 years, if you are one of the 9 old men, you would probably feel like you actually have learned everything possible. But, you know, going by stories from the 9 old men, they actually spend their whole career and more actually trying to kind of challenge themselves constantly. So that might also not be true. However, when you add technology into the mix, when technology is always changing, now you have AI, now you have better computers, now you have Maya with caching, now you have Blender, now you have Unreal. All those things just compile into this like journey of constant learning. The faster you understand that you can actually never really truly master animation, but you can be the best you possibly can in animation, then I think you're going to slow down and you're going to realize that, you know, this is not a race, right? You have to enjoy the moment and just do the best you can. Because I genuinely believed, as many people as they told me, that take it easy, enjoy the process, and try to kind of learn as fast as you can. However, you know, do it at your own pace. I swear in the beginning, I was like, 2 years, 5 years from now, I'm gonna be so dope and I'm gonna learn everything I need to learn and I'm gonna work and it's gonna be like a 9 to 5 and any challenge they throw at me, I'll know exactly how to tackle it. And I couldn't be more wrong because when you start learning animation and realize that quadrupeds, facial, acting, bipeds, machines, helicopter, like there's so many things that you have to animate and you don't know initially and you just have to try it out. And the more you try out, the better it is. And then you have workflows and you have games and you have VFX and you have film, stop motion. There's so many things in animation. Animation is amazing at this, at keeping you on your toes all the time so you keep on learning. So embrace that idea that you will forever be learning animation, right? Once you pair those two things about you do one shot and you're learning from it, now you move to the next shot and you apply the knowledge and you understand that you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life, you are going to be in animation nirvana. Obviously, you're still going to be frustrated. Obviously, you're still going to feel perhaps a lot of the time that you're not a great animator. I felt that way. I still feel that way nowadays, but it's part of being an animator, right? It's the unknowns, the imposter syndrome, the feeling like perhaps you are a great artist one day and the other day you're probably not so good. All of that is part of the journey. So embrace it and just know that all of us are going through it, need to go through it, have gone through it, and we are there with you. So I hope this helps you if you're a young animator, if you're just getting started, and if you're feeling frustrated, because this career is wonderful. You just have to make sure that you go over the hump. Once you do it, you're going to be great, and you'll realize that this is just process, right? So if you're still here with me after all this, make sure you subscribe if you enjoyed it, if this was useful to you. Drop a comment, let me know what you think about this, let me know about your frustrations with animation, if you have any, and until next week, I hope you guys stay well, stay safe, peace.